Richard Donald, tell us who you are and what you're about.
I'm Richard Donald. I'm a jazz musician. I'm known for making hip hop beats and other type of productions, and I just want to bring the quality back to hip hop by bringing the musicality back by using real instruments and not pushing so many buttons.
A lot of button pushes out there, right? What have you achieved, if any, musically in your career so far?
Well, I'm still an indie artist, so I haven't been signed yet, but have 2 albums solo. I also used to have a band called Cypher 9. We had 3 albums. I produced Fame, a Delaware rapper. I also produced Decipher, another Delaware rapper. Andrea, she's now out of Virginia, a pop singer. So I've done a few things, scored some films. I have a degree in music, studied jazz piano at University of Delaware. It's just not a hobby for me.
In addition to elevator music, is there any other projects you're working on now? Anything in the works?
Well, right now, just like you mentioned, I am working on my next release. It's called Elevator Music. It's a step away from traditional hip hop. It's actually a full instrumental record. It's all, I guess you could say, smooth jazz. And that's why I called it elevator music. Elevator music is normally an insult against somebody's type of music. And I figured, well, let me take the challenge of actually tackling this genre. So I made a full-length album of just smooth jazz, and it incorporates hip hop and R&B and jazz improv. It's a great album. It's really meant to be introspective, something that you listen to alone, like something to really chillax to on the ride home from work. And it's just a great background album. It's going to be something that you can definitely vibe and relax to.
Interesting title. I can't wait to hear more of it. All right, so what's the reasoning behind elevator music? What's the reasoning and motivation behind the project? What's the meaning?
Well, elevator music, it kind of came to me in a vision. I had dozed off and had a short dream where I got on an elevator. Instead of numbers to pick which floor I wanted to go to, there was adjectives or descriptions that I could choose, like relaxed, nervous, agitated, spontaneous. And that's where I kind of came up with the idea to name each song on the album an adjective, so that instead of getting off on the 4th or 5th floor, you're getting off on the jubilant floor. And it was just really like this ethereal kind of dream that I was having. And I guess the reason I'm doing smooth jazz is because no one else is really doing smooth jazz right now. And I think that it's a great art form. And I wanted to see how much I could push the boundaries of hip hop while still maintaining, jazz. So it's really a hybrid.
Okay. Let's backtrack a little to the album title. Tell us a little bit more about why you chose elevator music in general, and is there any more insight you can provide for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting when you come up with an album title. I think I went through a handful of different titles before I landed on that, and it's just like once you come up with an idea, you know instantly if it's going to work or not. I had it, like I mentioned, I had a couple other work in progress titles, and I just had some reservation in my heart. Elevator music just fit, and I think part of it is the ironic play on words, the fact that elevator music is supposed to be something bad or negative, and I figured that this might actually be one of my hottest albums ever, and the fact that it's called elevator music is almost like it's like a bravado type of thing.
It's definitely bold to say the least.
Yeah.
I'll definitely say that. So who inspired you to study jazz?
Well, I think it all goes back to, taking piano lessons as a child. And believe it or not, I actually hated piano lessons growing up. And my teacher always wanted to make me read sheet music and things like that. And one day, he, out of frustration, he just started playing one of the songs that was my homework. And he played it with jazz chords. And I think from that moment, I really became impressed by the ability to take a melody and really kind of hook it up with jazz harmony. So that moment was probably what inspired me. But of course, I love the greats. I mean, Coltrane is a genius. I love the ability of Miles Davis to play around with space in between his notes. Using the concept of rest and space as a way to express yourself. It's not always about playing notes. Sometimes it's about the silence between the notes. Chick Corea is just a virtuoso player. Cab Calloway, even getting back to Clifford Brown. Young boy died way too early. Probably would have been the greatest of all time if it weren't for a tragic car accident.
Delaware's finest, yes indeed. So where can we get your music? Where can we find some of Richard Donald's projects?
It kind of goes. That's a great question. It kind of goes back to the very concept of what I think I do. I think of myself as an artist, and I think that what I do is release art. And art is something that society needs in order to evolve as a culture. So I don't think of it as a commodity. So therefore, I have a tendency of giving away my music for free. So you guys can right now, after watching this video, visit me at rdon.bandcamp.com. and download any of my albums for free. I just feel like I make it for you guys, and I don't think what I do is really that special. I feel overcome by life and or some sort of life force. Some people call it inspiration or God or the Holy Spirit. I feel like what I do is really just a reflection of the life force that comes through me when I'm inspired. So I feel like in that respect, I don't own the music that I create. It's really, it's just my experiences being regurgitated back in a different abstracted form.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Donald, Elevator Music. Go and get it.